Okay. So here we have this data flow testing, right? So the previously we have discussed, or I have explained about the how you can like do the control flow testing, how you test the control flow, right? So you can like test the control flow by doing node coverage, edge pair, and complete path coverage, right? So in the data flow testing, what we are doing is, right, we do not concern about the how the control structures are happening, right? I mean, like, we have like little bit concern, but the major concern is our data, how the variables are uh, changing their values. So that is what we are focusing in the data flow testing, right? So in the as the definition, so the definition for the like data, right? So we can have like different variables, different parameters, right? Pointers, those kind of things in our program, right? So usually these pointers, variables, constants, right? So these are, and then like inputs, parameters, right? Assignments, these kind of things can store a particular memory location, and inside of that memory location we can store different values, right? So the data is those values, right? Then like in a program, right? Apart from the data, right? So in this particular data flow testing, data is defined as definition, and also so those data can be utilized or they can be used in different operations, right? So these functions or the operations that we can perform on the data, variables or whatever thing, is denoted as use, right? So in the use, so you will have some sort of like different variables, and we can like we can do different operations on those data, right? So if you are like if you are using a data in a condition, evaluating in a condition, something like if x equal y, so we can say these kind of users are doing some sort of predicate expressions. So in order to denote this predicate expression or the predicate usage, right, we can say in a short term p use, right? In some cases, we can have another set of operations use something like x plus 1, x divided by y, right? So these are some sort of computations, right? Arithmetic or whatever operation, computations, calculations. So in that case, these kind of expressions, right, we can name as CUs. So when you like considering this data flow testing, what you have to understand is, you by analyzing your code, you have to understand. So these are my definitions for the different variables, inputs, parameters, etc. And these are the users of for these data, right? Users can be either data, when the data is using in a evaluating in a decision or the predicate expression. So it could be PUs. If the data is utilizing for different calculations, so in that case, it can be CU, so that as it's utilizing for a computational purpose, right? So if I go for the example, right? So you can see I have 6 lines of my program. So I have read xy, z equals x plus 2 if z is less than less than y. So in that case, w should be equal to x plus 1, else y equals to y plus 1, and then you have to print x by w is it, right? So if I like if I try to give names for each and every line, right? So you can see in here xy is defined. So in the first line I have definition, right? And when it comes to second line, z equal to, so z is now appearing. So in that case, z is another definition, and x is already defined in the line number 1, but in here you can see x plus 2. It means x is involving in a operation, and that operation is computation. So that's why I can consider it as a CUs. Likewise, third statement, it's a if statement, right? Both z and y is defined, so this should not be the definition, but this should these z and y is in a decision. So in that case, it's a PU, so the predicate. And then again, something similar to the second line, w is equal to x plus 1. So w is defined here. And again, x is involved with computational computation. So x is again in series. Then we have y equals y plus 1. So we can like consider this since like y is equal is there, right? We can tell that y is updating its value, right? You can see this is this equal sign is assignment operator, right? So in that case, this y is involving in the definition. Also, y is again using doing mathematical calculation. So in that case, CUs. And then it's printing, right? So we can like consider this printing is also as a some sort of Right? So in a data flow graph, so rather than considering the control flow, how the flow the program is controlling, this particular graph is focusing on the how the data is flow, how the data is moving, right? So in order to develop data flow graph, right, you have to develop a control flow graph, right? So usually it's like very easy to like what we call develop the control flow graph. So it is something similar to flow charts, but it's like only using the different notations, right? So once you have developed the control flow graph, right? So you have to identify, like we did it in here, what are the definition and what are the users. So like if I take this particular very big program, right? So it have 18 lines. So begin, like we can consider that is a neutral. Anyway, since this is a executable code, right? So we have to take this particular line as well. So we will take first line, and then you can see that in the second line we have definition, right? We define our variables. Again, in the third line, we define our variable. In fourth line, right? We assign values to x, y, and count through user input. So all these are definitions. Since like consecutive four lines are representing definition, so we can consider this particular section as a one segment or one basic block, right? So then we have do keyword here, right? So it's since it is a keyword, right? We have to consider. Then I have my first P use, predicate use. This is a decision, right? So I can then in the seventh case, it's again a decision. But you know, right? So the based on the whatever value we are passing to the x, we can like in some cases line number 7 will work. So in that case, we only consider 5 and 6 as our second basic block. It's because this if is can change the flow of our data. So in the number 7, we have again another branch. So we can we can consider this as our third basic block, right? So when it comes to this 8th line, so you can see it's a definition, right? So mainly it's like defining how the Z is generated, right? And then this what we call again different syntax of our programming language. So in that case, we can consider as these three as our four basic. Then we have else statement. This one. So inside of else, it's again telling another assignment for Z, and again we have a bracket here. So we can consider these three lines as our fifth block. So likewise, we can consider these three as our sixth, and this last two is our seventh block. So in that case, right, we will, since our entire program have 7 blocks, our graph will have 7 nodes, right? So if I draw it in here, so based on our program, I will like first draw the control flow graph, right? I basically put how these blocks are appear in my program. Then, right? So you can see in this slide, I have explained like the first basic block is having definitions, right? Then we have what we call PUs, likewise. So you can see in here. So in the node 1, this is definition for X, Y, Z and count. Again, so in the second node, right? So the second node, right. Yeah. So you can see in here I have used 5 and 6 line. So in the 6th line, it's having X as a use. So likewise, you have to write down how your data is going on in your program, right? So this is how you develop the data flow graph, right? So once you like develop this one, then you can prepare a table, right? So we have test ID. Let's assume we have 2 tests, right? So we have variables X, Y, Z and count, right? So if I go to this particular case, so in here, this is our true part, this is our false part, right? X, if X is less than or equal to 0. So in that case, in order to go from 2 to 3rd node, so I have to satisfy this condition. So in that case, my X will be 0. Right? So likewise, I can fill a table. Okay. So, do you have any